time when I was born. We've got 8 games in the month to review, yeah, 8 whole games, including the Chester Senior Cup game against Crewe and a massive FA Trophy game against FC United of Manchester. Dave, what else have we got on the show?
Okay, thanks Sam. We've also got an absolutely thrilling game against Prescott Cables in the FA Trophy. You won't want to miss that one. And coming up after we've done all the highlights, we've got a little competition including this fella, which we'll tell you more about later on. Anything to add, Ron?
Well, if Ron's got nothing to say, let's get on with the show.
So first things first, Dave, congratulations on making the board. It's a great appointment, and tell us a bit about how you got on there.
Yeah, cheers mate. Well, I'd always pretty much said I wasn't going to join the board. Although, to be fair, less than a year ago, I literally just was the type of fan that just turns up, watches the game and goes home. But I started getting involved with the supporters group, started doing the finances on there, and then Mike Bignall, the chairman, just approached me and said, you know, you work in finance, would you be willing to join the board? And I think they needed the help, and not that they needed help, they weren't in any bad way or anything, but they just needed a bit more expertise. You know, not the people who were previous there have done a great job of sustaining the club, but we need to move forward now. We've got into this is our second season in this division. But we really need to kick on now. We need to get more money in, we need to run more efficiently, and we need to be run more professionally. So hopefully myself and Peter Carledge, who's also joined, Rob, the vice chairman, Rob Finley, who's already there, and the rest of the others, there's some really good expertise on that board now, and hopefully we can take the club forward into the future. Good.
Well, everyone here at Linnets TV, and I'm sure everyone out there wishes you the best of luck.
Cheers mate.
And hopefully we'll continue to grow as a club with a new step into the future, yeah, with this new board.
And a great TV show as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
And a great TV show. Now, speaking of the TV show, we've got a crammed show today.
We've got
8 games to go through. So we'll start quickly, 2nd of November. I think we'll probably say, I think we've said it before, the less said about this one, the better.
Yeah.
Away at Marsk.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what, it was a coach trip and it was up in the northeast. It was a long way to go. Weather wasn't great, and then we get there and the pitch, it didn't, you know, it looked choppy. Not particularly waterlogged, but it just looked really soft. And I did a couple of videos with Rob Finley, the vice chair, because he wanted to put his views across about the pitch. It wasn't great. But that's no excuse for that performance.
Yeah, I remember going up there a few years ago for a cup game on a Tuesday night, and it literally looked like we were playing on Blackpool Beach at that point. I think we got heavily beaten that day as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it was probably we've probably played on worse, and I think we've got a really good pitch here, and I think when we go away, we judge every pitch by our pitch.
Yeah.
But for November, or December, whatever, that pitch is looking great for this level. But we've got to remember the level that we're at. So the pitch probably wasn't that bad. It was just a bit soft underfoot. But, you know, we got through the game. No injuries. Horrific result. And
yeah, it's
sooner forgotten about the better.
A 6-1 defeat. At least the only consolation, Zach Haley popping one in right at the end, just to give us something to slightly cheer, even though there wasn't.
I don't think anyone cheered at all. You know, Zach didn't have it, to prefer. He just picked the ball up and ran back to the centre circle. I think it was a Louis Corrigan free kick. Surprisingly, it didn't go in, but it did hit the post, and then it rebounded to Zach for him to put it away.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about Louis later in this show. Should we have a look at the Marsk game?
If you really want to, yeah, let's have a look.
There we go.
What did you tell him? What did I fucking say before? 20 yards away from him. Come on, boy! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Hi, this is Dave from Linnets TV, and joining me is Runcorn Linnets manager Michael Ellison. Hello. Very disappointing result and performance there. Just try to sum that up for us.
In a word, it was poor, to say the least. Look, they're a good side. We know that. We knew that coming up here. We know they've got capability of scoring goals. Got a really good front line. But it's tough enough coming up here, but we made it easier for them. I think the goals are pathetic, if I'm being honest with you. And I say on the back of two really positive performances, two good results. I expected more, and yeah, the lads' report today was one of those days, and I felt like everything here went in.
I personally felt that we started the game quite well. First 20 minutes, I thought we were up, we were playing good football, we seemed confident. What happened there to turn the game?
Well, he went 2 up. I think they scored a couple of goals in the space of a couple of minutes, and the 2 mistakes. You know, you give teams like this head starts and they'll punish you. We said before the game we can't start flat. I agree with you. I thought we started okay. You know, the plan early doors was to get in behind them and turn them, squeeze up the pitch, try and play in their half, until the game settles down. And when it opens up, we could play a bit of football. But when you're giving them goals, the goals are poor. I mean, there's too much space between the back four. They've clipped it down to the channel, and Jack's gone for it. He's flicked it inside, and Peter's 20 yards away from him. So it's not like us, to be honest with you, and it's stuff we work on every single week, and that's the disappointing thing. They were avoidable, the goals, and then you come out, you go in at half time. We normally get a reaction. I think on Tuesday night I got a good reaction. The lads normally come out and put a shift in, but I thought they were worse second half, and you know, you've seen the goals. They're poor, defensively poor.
We've got the trophy
next round on Saturday. How do you go about turning this round and getting a performance out of these boys?
We can't feel sorry for ourselves, you know. We've had an iron today, and rightly so, if I'm being honest with you, there could have been a couple more. The same players are the ones who had a really good performance against Pontefract on Tuesday. It's the same lads in there who had a really good performance away from Trafford. So we have to dust ourselves off, and we'll go again Saturday. We have to. We got to say we can't feel sorry for ourselves, and we'll be ready come next Saturday.
Okay, cheers, Al.
Cheers, mate.
So they were the highlights from Marsk. Let's head over to our regular statistician, Mark, for our highlights from the Marsk.
Thanks, gents. Obviously not too much joy up there. Marsk become the second time they've put 6 past us. The only team that have ever done that. The only other teams that have put 6 past us are Bootle, AFC Fylde, Bamber Bridge and St Helens Town. One team scored 7 past us, and that was Northwich Victoria quite a while ago in the Cheshire Senior Cup when they were at a much higher level. One absolute piece of lovely stuff from that game though, and this took me by surprise, to be honest. It was Kurt Sherlock's 100th appearance for the Linnets.
100 appearances?
Yeah, so I think he's got there quite quick, but Kurt's 100 appearances, he's a player I absolutely adore and really rate, so chuff for Kurt, but that game was his 100th.
Do you know how many spells that's across, Bucko?
11. Not many, he's just got there, hasn't he? He's a player I absolutely adore, I think he's quality, so I'm chuffed.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for those depressing stats there, Mark. Much appreciated.
So a week later, we were back here at the Millbank for Prescott Cables in the FA Trophy. A game that I think there was a real buzz around the ground for.
Yeah, there was a real buzz around the ground, but that soon dissipated with the performance on the pitch, which, quite frankly, was boring. Literally nothing happened. They took the lead in the 16th minute, unsurprisingly from a corner. And then again, still nothing happened. And we'd all just accepted our defeat. A few people left, more than a few people left. And then we got a corner. And Zach Ailey stuck it to the back post, always aim for the back post. And at the time we all thought it went straight in. That's certainly how we cheered it anyway. On Twitter afterwards, there was a bit of when the highlights came out, there was a bit of an argument. So, question is, was it Zach Ailey, was it Jamie Rainford, or was it an own goal? But we'll leave it for you to decide.
Yeah, there was a bit of controversy around that one, and we'll see in a moment. Then the viewers can make their own decision, and we'll have a little look and see what they say.
Well, I think it was more light-hearted, wasn't it, than controversy. Although Jamie Rainford, being a striker, obviously. He's trying to claim it. He'd try and claim it if he was the other end of the pitch, wouldn't he, to be honest? But yeah, he tried to claim it, but have a look for yourselves and see what you think.
First of all, enjoy the game.
Oh, right. Guys, thank you very much for joining us there for our Remembrance Day ceremony. We are off now, so thank you very much. Let's hope for an absolute humdinger. See you soon.
Don't worry about that. Go ahead, Matty, lad.
If he scored, it would suck him off.
Cheers for that. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, so as we said there, you at home, maybe write underneath in the comments section what you think the goal scorer that was. Was it an own goal? Was it Jamie? Was it Zach Ailey directly from the corner? Mark, anything to add?
I'll tell you now, it was Zach Ailey's goal because that's what's in the club statistics, and I'm not changing it. So it's Zach Ailey's goal. Unless there's an outcry, it's been credited to Zach, so we'll give it as Zach's goal.
To be honest, at the time I thought it was Zach's.
Yeah.
From where we were, I think the touches were after the ball had gone.
We announced it over the tannoy as Zach, and once the tannoy has spoken, that's That's
Yeah,
forever.
well, that was my first ever Tannoy appearance. Mark was doing the filming, and I announced it as Zach Haley, so we'll go with Zach anyway.
We're definitely going with Zach. The third time we played Prescott, and honours are even, a draw, a win, and a loss. And of course, a few days later, as we'll see in a few minutes, we played them again. For the fourth time, all the attendances for Prescott games have been over 400 people, which is really encouraging. And the results have been 2-1, 1-1, 1-2 and 2-1. So these games are always close. But, well, we'll see what happens in the replay on Tuesday in a minute, but it's a happy ending.
Well, as Mark said there, the replay then on the Tuesday evening, we went to Prescott, and it was freezing.
It was very cold. Elo made a few changes from the weekend. Whether that was because, I mean, obviously, I think we just said before, didn't we, that the performance wasn't great, so it needed changing in some way, whether that was personnel, tactics, whatever. So we brought Zach Haley in, Warren Bellew and Jamie Rainford. But I think the way we set up was a lot different. I think in the first game we tried to go through the middle too much, and there was just no space. Whereas I think in the replay we got out wide a lot more and tried to get crosses into the box.
Yeah, we almost played two holding midfielders and kept us wide.
Yeah.
Tom Owens and Kyle Hammond in there, and tried to. I think he had Gibbo on one side and Zach Haley on the other, and tried to give us a bit of width.
And it worked well because I don't think we had much possession on the Saturday, whereas I think we had a lot more possession, looked a lot more composed in possession as well. And then it told, and we took the lead. Shanners was slipped through. It looked like his first touch was a bit heavy and he'd overrun it a bit, but their keeper came tearing out and he managed to get his toe on it. And then obviously we were behind the goal, weren't we? And it was I think it was the slowest goal I've ever seen.
From the moment it left its foot about 14 yards from the goal, it took about 4 weeks for it to get to the net because it just seemed to roll and roll.
It was like
and
that.
roll.
Because you can't, if you ever stood behind a goal, you can't quite see, can you, whether something's heading up. There's a few times I've been caught out by celebrating and then it's gone wide. A few witness were caught out, a few witness fans were caught out, funnily enough. Very funnily. But yeah, it was one where we had to wait for it, but then when it went over the line, we all went absolutely crazy, didn't we? Even the people, obviously we always go crazy, don't we? But even the people who don't always go mental went absolutely mental. Every one of us behind the goal, jumping up. It was great.
Yeah, it was a massive one. I think we said about the first game here at the Millbank on the Saturday. The buzz for the Tuesday night. I know we were talking about how big it was for the club and stuff, and we had probably our largest number of LSU members there, and we had the drum out. We had all sorts, and it was a great atmosphere.
I think it's because we've been let off as well, because we'd had such a massive let off from that first game, because we didn't deserve anything out of that game. And to get that let off so late in the game, such a ridiculous way as well, that we thought, right, we need to make the most of this, and we all did, and we were all there. There was lads that had literally, it was their first game of the season, but we were all there making noise, making a lot of noise. And I think it was commented on by a lot of people, wasn't it? Players after the game and that. And I loved it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and then just before half-time, just a sort of slight little stumbling block for us, a dubious red card for Tom Owens. From where we were stood, it looked like a good tackle, but I think a couple of guys who I worked with came along, and as soon as he made the tackle, I turned to one of them and said, he could go off here, because it just looked a little iffy, but from after what I've seen, I think he was a bit... It was a bit harsh, he could have been a yellow card.
It was hard to see from our end, wasn't it, like you said, and it was a bit of a melee. There was a lot of bodies flying in, and I think he's gone off his feet, hasn't he? And when you do that, the referees these days don't like it, do they? But from what I've heard from a few of their fans, they didn't really understand why he'd been sent off or what he'd been sent off for. But the fact was he was sent off. So.
Yeah, and I spoke to our kit man David, and he said that Tom was really apologetic at half time and said, I'm sorry lads, but let's get out there. And then second half we came out and we hit them really quickly.
Yeah.
I think Gibbo scored 10-15 minutes into the second half, and it was again a fabulous finish.
I thought it was a really good goal, wasn't it? I mean, I heard people at the time sort of blaming their defending, but I thought it was a brilliantly weighted pass from Shanners, brought a player towards him as well, and then Gibbo used that space to get in behind. But yeah, I mean, when when you've got that kind of time and you're running at goal, they're not always the easiest ones
No.
to take, and he finished it really well.
And it was very composed. He's a young kid, really.
Yeah, he's not
in context to the
and
team.
yeah, it was, it wasn't that long ago he was playing, Saturday League football, was he? And now he's, he's stepped up. He doesn't look out of place, and not only has he stepped up, but we've stepped up as well. Yeah, and it showed such composure. It was a great finish, and
I think,
again we all.
I was going to say it sent the rest.
Well,
of the crowd wild.
we were like the left-hand side, obviously.
Yeah.
That's because that's where we go. And then if you watch the video, as you'll see in a bit, you can just see all these people just running across. And one of them is our chairman as well. If you look closely, you can see the chairman running along as well. But yeah, it was brilliant because I think when. I was apprehensive at half-time, really was, and I was really concerned whether we could hold on for that long. So to get that second goal, the pressure, it relieved, and then, the celebration showed it.
And then Prescott pulled one back to make the last sort of 15 minutes a little bit nervy. Now I know you've got your own views on this situation.
It's one of them. I'm not saying there was no contact. I'm just saying the way he threw himself up in the air was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And for me, it's a dive. And if I was a referee or if I was in charge of making the rules, if you overplay it or you make it, if you dive in any way, overturn the decision, give it the other way. If you've been fouled, fine. But if you've been fouled or if you've been slightly touched and you throw yourself in the air or you roll around 15 times, give it the other way. That's your punishment. You're just being stupid. And he did that. He jumped up like he'd been shot, and it was ridiculous. But they got the penalty.
Yeah, they stuck it away to make it 2-1. The last sort of 10 minutes were real tight, and I think the nerves that had released after Gibbo's goal came back in, and I think when the final whistle went, the celebration.
I mean, I had to stand on my own. I couldn't stand near anyone. I had to stand. They had those weird plimps, didn't they? In the back. I just had to stand on my own.
I think at one point I looked over, and I was on one. You were on one. Pete Cartledge was on one. Just as behind the goal.
I was just like, I just couldn't speak to anyone. I was that nervous. And then when the final whistle went, it was just a release of relief and joy, wasn't it? And then the players celebrating in front of us, Ello loving it as well. It was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And we talked about the jubilation in the crowd and stuff like that, and the two contentious decisions. So let's have a look, and we'll let the viewers make their own decision about the contentiousness.
where we play Grand Bottom United in the Best Victor Northern Premier League North West Division. Kick-off 7:45. Keep up to date with all our fixtures on the website, pestontables.com, and all our social media channels. Many thanks to all our supporters for your attendance tonight. Wishing everyone a safe journey home, especially to our visitors from Runcorn, who we wish all the best in the rest of the competition. Thank you and good evening.
Well, hello. After getting a last-ditch equaliser on Saturday to bring us here today, and to hold on for 45 minutes with 10 men to take us through to the next round, try and round that for us.
Where do we start? I thought we were excellent, Dave. I thought we were absolutely excellent. I think it's no secret that we got let off the hook by Prescott in the previous game. We were poor, and I said to the lad before the game today, it's a massive opportunity that we can't let slip away. And it turned up tonight, the boys, and everyone to the man were excellent. But going down to 10 men and seeing the half out to 1-0, but not just that, to get the second goal with 10 men. I thought we were brilliant, and I'm delighted because we beat a really, really good side tonight.
The lads showed a massive amount of fight there. How good do you think that can be to take into the rest of the season?
It has to be. They have to kick on and they have to take that into the league now. I know we said this a couple of times before, but I think a performance and a result like that could turn our season, and hopefully we'll regroup on Thursday and we'll take it into Saturday against Ramsbottom.
Matty Holmes has come in on the game on Saturday and the game today, and he's pulled off some really good saves under a lot of pressure there, hasn't he?
He was excellent. I thought he was excellent from start to finish. He commanded his box. He took the pressure off us time and time again. He put in really, really good deliveries. He was brave. Yeah, he was excellent, and his kicking was good as well, which we just had a little joke about then. So yeah, excellent and delighted.
The other man I wanted to point out there was Shanners in the second half. He never stopped running, and he was just everywhere, wasn't he?
I don't think I've seen a performance like it, to be honest with you. I think he's occupied their back four on his own. He was winning flick-ons, chasing his own flick-on. His work rate, his effort, and then having under all that work rate. Sometimes it's difficult when you get in good areas to relax and breathe and take your chance. And he took it so well and so calmly, and he was head and shoulders, I thought, today the best player on the park.
Okay, cheers, Elo.
Thank you.
So yeah, I hope you made your mind up over those two contentious decisions. Mark, anything to add?
Yeah, something a little bit different. Prescott are the fourth team that we've played competitively at Valerie Park. Can you think who the other three would be?
Scam.
Scam is one, definitely.
Yeah, I remember them ground sharing with AFC Liverpool.
2.
So there's one more.
There's one more, yeah. Competitive match.
He was local to that area.
It's not City of Liverpool. They've never played there, have they? No.
St Helens Town.
Yes, St Helens Town. We
Yes.
got a 5-0 drubbing, didn't we? There's 2 other grounds that we've played 3 teams competitively on. 2 other grounds where we played a team, 3 different teams in a competitive match. Any ideas?
Yeah, I think
Sorry to throw this on you, like, but you know.
I think I've got an idea of this one because I remember the one of the teams that we played there, and it was a horrible night. We got beat by Northwich Victoria down at is it Barnfield Road? Is that what it's called, or
Townfield Lane.
Townfield?
At
Yeah,
Barnton.
Barnton.
Yeah, and so the other 2 teams would be.
Witness have played there, haven't they?
Barnton.
And one other ground where we played 3 teams. Should we leave it for a bit? I
Yeah.
can see in your face that you can...
That's a tough one, that.
Right, we'll leave it a bit, but have a little think of that. But there's one other ground where we've played 3 teams in competitive football.
Maybe we can throw that out.
Maybe we can.
If you know the answer to that,
Let us know.
let
Put
us
us out of
know,
our
'cause
misery.
I haven't got a clue, and neither's Dave. So pop it in the comments section below and let us know if you can think of the answer. Any clues?
No.
Oh. I was hoping he'd give us a clue so we
I
can have
know,
another
I
go.
should just throw in. Well, thanks for that, Mark. We'll leave that one open and see if anyone comes back.
I'll give you one little clue.
Go.
All 3 games were in cup football.
Oh,
I know, but I don't know. I do know.
So you don't know then?
Was it where we played finals?
Yes.
And we mentioned it, didn't we, in the last show?
In that case, then I do know the answer. It would be Curzon Ashton,
It would be Curzon Ashton.
where we beat Formby 3-0 in the
Correct.
Challenge Cup final.
Yeah.
I was on crutches that day, I'd broken my ankle. we played Formby there. It would have been Curzon Ashton. Would
Yes.
have been one cup game, and I think the other one would have been New Mills.
Perfect. Give yourself a pat on
That
the
was
back.
one of the it was in the teaser, wasn't it? The cup teaser.
Yeah,
and he
because-
also mentioned that we played 2 finals at
Because
a
I remember the
neutral
New
ground.
Mills fans as well. They had an inflatable sheet that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment on that.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. So 16th of November, up to Ramsbottom.
Yes.
In my eyes, one of the most picturesque grounds
It
in,
was,
in,
yeah.
the,
It was
in
a
the
nice little
world.
ground. I had a little cricket club next to it as well. And I could see the Linnets fans about 15 minutes into the second half still making their way from the bar at the cricket ground. I didn't go myself, I had my children with me. I did go for a brew in the tea bar.
Very responsible.
Yes, always, when I've got the kids with me. But the game itself, Joe, it was a decent game, to be fair. I thought we played well. They're a tough team, Rami, to play, and it's always tough to go away from home. And Zach Ailey scored an absolutely brilliant header. Good play from Shanna's crossing, and it was one of those headers where he was about, say, 14 yards out left of the penalty, and he had to get power and curl on it to get it round the goalkeeper.
I think we'll see in a minute. As he's hit it, he's leaning backwards and he's turned his head into it.
Even coming in on it, it'd be a fantastic header to get it in from there. But like you said, the fact that he's going back to do it, it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't make that game, and when I seen the goal come out on Twitter after the game, the first thing I said was, he should have overhead kicked that for me. Because it was behind him, it was a right angle, but he's bent his body and he's headed it in the top bin.
I'm more of a show pony, would have. I bet Shanna's would have overhead kicked that.
100%.
But I mean, overall, I think, and then they equalised in the second half, and I thought we were quite comfortable, but I can't say it wasn't an undeserved equaliser, because they'd start getting into the game and they were playing well, and I think, and then it finished 1-1. I think overall it was a decent point, and certainly Ello was happy with the point in the post-match interview, so I think we should be happy with it as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back over the last couple of months as well. I think most of Zach's goals have either come from his head or directly from a corner.
I think I said that as well. He's scored some really good headers, like proper powerful headers. I just want to say the highlights for me from the Ramsbottom games were steam trains across the bottom of the ground. They had a quick save basket in their tea room, which proper took me back to my childhood. But not only that, they had an actual radio cassette player with tapes. And I don't mean one of these retro ones that you can buy these days. I mean a proper old school cassette radio player from the 80s. It was brilliant. I loved it. Oh, they also had like these weird sort of cinema seats as well that you had to like push down, and so, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Well,
one of my favourite ways. Even
the steam trains are one of the things that make it such a picturesque place.
That just reminded me as well. One of their players had a free kick whilst the steam train was going past, or I don't know if it was a steam train, but it was definitely a train, and he actually hit the train as it was going past, or it went underneath the tracks or something, but he actually got the train. It was brilliant. Loved it.
Well, as we said about Zach's there, it was a cracking header, so let's have a look at our heading maestro.
Yeah, please appreciate this great goal.
I don't know. Book him for diving there. Finished that one.
Hope we got a good video of that. I hope we got a good video of that. It doesn't matter here because we're getting the footage off them. So. Come out of nothing, man. Why is it not holding the ball up? That is from nothing, man. Literally. You're okay, really.
Hi, this is Dave from Linnets TV, and with me is Runcorn Linnets manager Michael Ellison. Hello, after a difficult game midweek, we were back in league action, and we've come away from Ramsbottom with a 1-1 draw. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good point. I think you have to take it as a positive. I don't think we were the best on the ball today. I think you can see there was a little bit of a hangover from Tuesday night, which is to be expected. Lads look leggy, but I can't fuck them for effort and application. I thought worked across the pitch tirelessly, defended really well, and just got undone by a lapse of concentration maybe. And 1-1, but you know, you look at it as a positive. It's a tough place to come, very difficult, and we'll take the points and move on.
Defensively, we looked strong. We won every header, did really well in challenges, few mistakes. Do you think we've turned a corner defensively now?
I think so. I said on Tuesday night to the back four, I thought they were excellent. Barring a penalty that never was, shall we say, we should have had a clean sheet. And it's just that little bit extra. I think we've done everything right for the majority of the game, and just that one switch off once and you get caught out. And unfortunately, that's what's happened. But you know, like I said, I think they've been excellent tonight. I can't fault them for working for effort.
Obviously, we've got a massive game next Saturday, but before that, we've got a Cheshire Senior Cup game against Crewe. What are you thinking going into that in terms of players?
We'll use it. We want to win the game first and foremost. It's not something that we want, you know. We want to win the game. It's a cup competition. It's when we got to the final last year, and you know, as well known, we got through out of it. So we want to go as far as we can. We want to win every game, but I will use it to give lads much needed minutes, and lads who have been patient, been on the bench week in, week out, and haven't had the game time. So they'll get some game time on Wednesday night.
And finally, how much is everyone looking forward to the FC United game on Saturday?
To be honest with you, Dave, we've not really thought about it. I said to the lads in there before, you know, this was our biggest game of the season because it was the next one. And the next biggest game of the season is Wednesday. I think if you start looking too far ahead, you know, you can come under. So we'll concentrate on Wednesday, and then after Wednesday we'll start thinking about Saturday.
Okay, cheers, hello.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers.
So, welcome back, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed Zach's header as much as I did. Brilliant header, I'm sure you agree. Bucko, anything to add to the Ramsbottom game?
I just want to agree with you, Dave, to be honest. I think it's a superb point away. Ramsbottom is a team that we've perennially struggled with. We've played them 13 times and only won 3, and that's just the second draw, so formidable opposition. I think it's a great point. I agree with you and Ello.
I always agree with Ello. That's always the best way to go.
I always agree with Ello.
I don't think I'd ever disagree with him.
It's getting a bit long this episode now, innit? Join us in part 2 and we'll carry on the conversation.